sent for me, Mother?
I sent saying I wished to see you.
I came as soon as I could.
As soon?
I am not master of my time.
Who is then?
The Senate, the Army, the law courts, my social duties. Mother, you have always warned me that I would not rise to the highest rank in the Empire unless I was more attentive to my social duties.
I have warned you to come when I send for you. When I wish to see you.
My dear Mother, if your message had indicated the nature of your business...
The Emperor is going on a journey.
I know, to Capri and Naples.
To Venetia, to see his one remaining grandson.
Did he tell you?
If he told me, it wouldn't have mattered so much. It was the fact that he did not tell me.
It may be only... If it were a rumor, I would have heard it. My friends are good at bringing me rumors. May I ask how you found out?
Not sure.
My husband has made all the arrangements. The Emperor is to travel in secret, taking no one with him but Celustius Crispus.
This becomes more complex. The Emperor did not tell you his wife, but he entrusted the arrangements to the husband of one of your ladies-in-waiting. It seems he meant you to know.
The Emperor made my husband swear not to tell anyone, not even me, under pain of death.
Then your husband is either a very good friend of mine or a complete fool. Or, of course, both.
Well, perhaps now you understand why my message could not indicate the nature of my business.
Indeed. We don't want your husband to lose his life unnecessarily.
You know the Emperor has been troubled by signs.
Signs?
The lightning that melted the air is named.
And the eagle in the campus marshes. He is the most practical man I have ever known and the most absurdly superstitious.
As you are, too.
No, Mother. I believe in astrology, which is an exact science. I am completely free from superstition and all other forms of self-delusion.
The Emperor has come to believe that he will die soon.
He's 75. He may well be right.
And who will succeed to the throne?
I have been led to believe that I shall.
You must.
My horoscope for the coming month, as soon as you can cast it, and the horoscope of one other person. You may ask who.
Who, my lord?
The Emperor's grandson, Agrippa Posthumus. You may not ask why. In the usual way, I must threaten you with death if I find you wondering why.
My lord, I've been your faithful servant for 20 years.
You have been my friend.
Thank you.
I'm only sorry that life has taught me to have friends who live in fear of me.
I live in the hope that you will come to trust me.
Your business is to predict. I trust you as a predictor. You've been uncommonly accurate since the time of our first meeting, you remember?
It is my favorite anecdote, my lord.
Tell it to me. At Rhodes, 20 years ago.
20 years ago, you sent for me to test my skill. You ordered me to cast my own horoscope for that very day. I measured the positions and distances of the stars in accordance with the rules of Chaldean astrology. I was astonished to see that the horoscope showed a great crisis in my life. I stood in immediate and mortal danger. I told you this. I found that I had passed the test. A slave would have thrown me from a cliff into the sea if I had predicted anything else.
It is not quite my favorite anecdote. But I like to hear you repeat it from time to time. Am I too hard on you, Thrasylus?
You've made me a wealthy man, my lord.
I accept the rebuke. Thrasylus, I myself will make not prediction but a promise. If ever I become head of the Roman Empire...
As you will do.
As I may possibly do, all astrologers will be banished, every one. Except you.
You are kind.
Not at all. We cannot control events, we can only try to foresee them. I want to be the only man in the Empire who has any chance of knowing the future. The horoscopes of Agrippa and myself by tomorrow.
The Emperor is dead.
Peacefully.
Without pain.
I'm glad. He had a horror of pain, which is surprising considering how much he inflicted. Did he utter any dying word?
Just before he died, he cried, 40 young men are carrying me away.
40 young men. The servants heard this?
Yes.
They're bound to repeat it sooner or later. sake of legend. 40 young men of the Praetorian Guard will carry Augustus on his last journey through Rome. I'll tell Sejanus to arrange it. Nothing else? No prayers for Rome, no words of wisdom?
None.
Good. Dying messages make inconvenient quotations. Thank you, Crispus.
I must tell you immediately, I had instructions given to me by Augustus to be carried out as soon as he is dead.
Then you must carry them out.
To do so, I must leave no one.
You have my permission.
And make a journey quite a distance.
I take it the instructions are secret?
Yes.
Then you must carry them out secretly.
Tiberius, I was the Emperor's most loyal helper.
Yes, why?
I'm a natural civil servant. I serve faithfully whoever is in power.
I believe it, but again, why?
Augustus being dead is no longer emperor. If you wish me to disclose what those instructions are, I shall feel compelled by a new loyalty to a new ruler.
You are not yet justified in making assumptions. Deepest condolences. Crispus, you may leave on your journey.
A journey? Where to?
Crispus has secret instructions given him by the late Emperor.
What instructions?
Mother, you should not ask, and he must not answer.
Where to?
Livia.
Goodbye.
I have made a suggestion to Tiberius.
And I have rejected it.
Crispus, you've certain arrangements to make before your journey. Come back and see us before you leave. It's going to be an issue to see your brother.
It may or may not be so, I don't know.
Augustus's one failing was this mad fondness for his family.
I'm sorry to hear you speak ill of the dead when the death is so recent.
Tiberius, be practical.
I have just lost my only superior. I am now the most practical man in the world.
And not everyone loves you.
No one loves me, Mother.
If Agrippa is
We
released...
don't know yet that the instructions concern Agrippa.
If Agrippa is released, your enemies will band together, form a rebellion, using Agrippa as their figurehead, not because they love Agrippa, merely to get rid of you.
Given your premise, the conclusion is undeniable.
Do you know how Augustus made himself emperor and kept himself emperor?
I have an idea.
By killing every other possible emperor.
As I said to someone else very recently, I am not Augustus.
No, you don't deserve to be emperor.
Men seldom get what they deserve.
Crispus offered to show you his orders.
And I refused his offer.
Do you know what Augustus would have done? He would have read those orders, torn them up, and written his own in 2 words, kill Agrippa.
Yes, that's what he would have done.
Then why don't you?
He would have done it because he believed that Rome and the Empire needed to be ruled by one man alone for their own good.
Yes.
He continued to believe this right up to the moment of his death.
And it's true.
It's what he believed. You have made me wait longer than I would.
I'm sorry, my lord.
For the horoscope so difficult to cast.
The answers are difficult.
Tell me them.
For both you and Agrippa, the coming month is one of great danger.
I understand that perfectly.
What will happen to Agrippa is what he least desires.
I understand. Good.
And what will happen to you, my lord, is what you yourself least desire.
In your shoes now, Augustus would be in Rome, gathering up all the threads of power into his own hands.
Partly by charm, which I have not got, and partly by the swift, cold-blooded elimination of any rival, which is something that I cannot do. I am slow and cautious.
Too slow.
Possibly, we shall see.
You, my child. I can't believe it.
Mother, you have had many years as the partner of an admiral. You got in the habit of commanding. Do this and it's done. I've spent my life like an actor waiting off stage for a cue that may never be spoken. I've got in the habit of waiting. But I've studied the rest of the cast, and I know Augustus's character better than you ever did.
Crispus has returned.
Ask him to see me here. Bring him himself. And Drusus. I want Drusus here as well.
Yes, sir.
Why, Drusus?
Drusus is, with myself, a member of the Senate Standing Committee. There may be a matter for the Senate.
Who cares about the Senate?
Even your husband preserved the outward forms of democratic government. I myself hope to have a hand in restoring its ancient powers.
Are you even more devious than I think you are?
What a difficult question. I suppose the answer is no. I am simplicity itself. If only you could understand simplicity.
Tiberius, my lady.
I'm glad to see you safely returned.
I am the bearer of bad news.
What?
Wait. Crispus is about to tell us some bad news.
A misfortune affecting a member of the late Emperor's family.
I'm already sorry to hear it.
Agrippa Posthumus, while attempting to escape from his confinement on Planacia, was accidentally killed by the colonel of the guard.
Accidentally?
I gather that Agrippa was violent and that the colonel, in effect, killed him in self-defense.
The death of Augustus's grandson is an event that cannot be passed over lightly. I find it difficult to believe that it was an accident. I think it more likely that the killing was done on instructions from someone in authority. I myself gave no such instructions.
I'm sure no one could possibly suspect you of that.
Some people will. However, I do not even know of any such orders having been given. Crispus, were you in Planacia at the time of Agrippa's death?
I was there immediately afterwards.
Do you know of anyone having given instructions to have Agrippa killed? If so, you must reveal it. I command you to reveal it.
I know nothing.
Then perhaps I'm wrong in my suspicion.
I'm sure you are.
I'm not at all sure, but of course I hope that I'm wrong. Drusus, you with me are a member of the Senate Standing Committee. Do you think that this matter should be reported to the Senate for a full investigation?
Yes, I do.
I agree. When we get back to Rome, we shall ask for the Senate to appoint a committee of inquiry. Good night, Mother.
Tiberius, a man like myself, a minor figure, a footnote in the pages of history, does sometimes feel impelled, not of course to give advice, but to make a suggestion. Particularly a man who finds himself in a situation when it is equally improper to lie as to speak the truth.
What truth?
There are certain truths which are better not known. Certain things which are better kept hidden. Good government has a number of necessary secrets. But if everything were made public, if everything were the subject of open investigation, it might lead to a serious weakening of respect for authority. I once learned bookkeeping, and I assure you the accounts only come right when the accountant himself is the auditor.
You may be right. I shall think about it. Would you be good enough to find my secretaries and bring them to my room? Perhaps you could help me. I must send messages to Rome.
Saying?
Saying that Augustus is dead, and that for the time being, at least, the command of the Roman Empire devolves upon me.
Augustus is dead. What are we waiting for? Now's the time to tell them what we want and get what we want. 20 years service. It's too long. It only used to be 16. We wanted 16 again. We won't get our rights from Tiberius. You know what we ought to do? Make Germanicus emperor!
Augustus is dead. For the time being, at least, the command of the Roman Empire devolves on Tiberius.
For the time being? What does he mean by that?
He assures me I'm still to be regarded as his legal heir and successor, in accordance with Augustus's express wish.
What are you going to do?
Bring him this way, then. We'll give him a taste of his own. Company commander, you call yourself? We're commanding this company now. This way with it. Bring him up. All right, tie him up here. You know how you've had it done to you often enough. And tie him tight. I don't want him to slip.
All four of those brigades completely out of control. Flogging their officers, then throwing them out of the camp more dead than alive, or into the Rhine. It's mutiny. The worst I've ever seen. The only one thing that might excuse it
Is what?
they're shouting for you.
Do they want to flog me too?
They want you for Emperor.
Emperor of the mutineers.
You know the sort of men they are. Half of them old sweats serving out their time. Barrack room lawyers, every one of them. The other half conscripts. The riff-raff of Rome. The whole lot of them stupid, can't see further than their noses. They get their fatigues and floggings given them by their company officers. They're the ones to blame. It's got nothing to do with you. They don't even think you know what happened. You're just a great god they see sometimes trotting by on a white charger. You're the one who could put things right. All you have to do is descend from the heavens.
An army is renowned throughout the world for the victories it has won. Every other nation has had to learn to its cost how strong our arms are, how sharp our swords, the skill, the fortitude, the heroism of the Roman soldier has never been equaled, will never be equaled. But our army is even more highly renowned for one quality, one other quality, without which it would never have won a single victory. Discipline. Where is that famous traditional discipline now? The report of what you've done, the sight of you as you stand here before me, fill me with shame that I am alone. And even greater shame that I am your commander. It is not many days since Augustus died. The father of his country, the ruler of the empire. This was an occasion for mourning, not for mutiny. His appointed heir is the man who was for many years his chief helper, his greatest general. The succession of Tiberius is an occasion for rejoicing, not for rebellion. Many of you older men have served under Tiberius. In Pannonia, in Dalmatia, here in Germany. You know him well. Too well. Step forward, that man. Name?
Palestinian, sir.
Company?
21st, sir.
Brigade?
3rd, sir.
Length of service?
22 years, sir. Due for demobilization with gratuity 2 years ago. Right along the others, sir.
Any complaints you may have will be referred to your commander-in-chief, Tiberius.
A mutiny in our army in the Rhine. At the same time, another mutiny in our army of Pannonia. Both for the same apparent reason. Too long service, too many punishments, too little pay. Both sparked off by the death of Augustus.
And wondering who is to become emperor?
I cannot help on that point. We are not a hereditary monarchy. The title of emperor is awarded or not awarded by the Senate.
Only you would indicate willingness.
I am not willing. However, my command of the army and the frontier provinces means that I must do something about these mutinies. Gentlemen, may I have your advice? Drusus?
Send Sejanus to stamp out one of them, and me to stamp out the other.
Which to stamp out which?
Send me to Germany.
Why?
It's much the more important of the two.
Is that a reason?
The Rhine army is 3 times the size of the one in Pannonia. The mutiny is 3 times as serious. Those fools in Pannonia won't even think of marching on Rome. They know they didn't stand a chance. But in Germany...
But in Germany, I have my legal heir and successor, Germanicus, as my representative.
And what's he doing?
Making loyal speeches to the troops.
Melodramatic.
I imagine so.
And meaningless.
On the contrary, full of meaning.
He does it to test their reactions. When he says Tiberius is great, he means, tell me how great you think I am. And when he says you must not rebel, he means, if it came to a real rebellion, could I depend on you?
Is he so subtle?
He's better than subtle. He's instinctive.
What happened?
Oh, I met them. They want the money they say is due to them. back pay, bonuses and so on. They want all sorts of reforms.
And?
They want to march on Rome and make me emperor.
Which do they want most?
Oh, it's all tangled together in their minds.
They must want one thing most.
If I give them their money, everything else they ask for, they'll follow me wherever I choose to go. If I give them just promises, they'll follow me for a time. I'm not sure how long. But if I give them nothing, they'll quite possibly run berserk and kill me. And you. And him. I've increased the guard on this house from a company to a battalion. Now, what good that'll be if 4 brigades decide to attack.
Give them what they ask for.
The army regulations are laid down by the commander-in-chief. Only Tiberius has the power to change them. Everyone knows that. If I do it myself without Tiberius's agreement, I declare myself a rebel.
Declare yourself emperor. March on Rome.
I don't know if I dare.
Dare?
Oh, I don't mean I'm scared of fighting. Or of Tiberius. It's just that I was brought up to believe that Rome is the center of the universe. That Rome itself is supreme, solid, and sacred. That the Roman army has a divine mission to go around conquering the world, spreading peace and law and order.
I was brought up to believe that power goes to the man who takes it, as my grandfather Augustus took it. No one gave it to him. Then there was peace.
After how many years of civil war?
Augustus had men his own size to fight against. Brutus, Cassius, Mark Antony. This time it's different. Tiberius isn't that sort of fighter.
He's a general who never lost a battle.
Who were the enemy? Native tribes with blunt javelins. And he always made sure he outnumbered them 3 to 1.
Every good general does that.
He knows you have a bigger army here than he has in all Italy. He knows the Romans. I don't mean the Senate. I mean the people, the ordinary people. They don't want him. They want you. It wouldn't be a war. It would be a triumphal procession.
Don't underestimate my uncle. He's a very clever man.
Oh, yes. Far too clever to fight when he can't win. He'd abdicate before you cross the Alps.
He might.
And he has what he calls a sense of duty. He'd do anything rather than see the Empire and Rome torn in two all over again.
And have I a sense of duty?
What news?
We went on talking for 2 hours after you left. At least, they went on talking. The full list of grievances all over again.
And in the end?
They demand a final answer by tomorrow. Or they don't know what or is any more than I do. But whatever it is, it's trouble. Even worse than now.
So we must decide.
One of 2 things. Either give them what they want, or smash them.
All guilty?
I've no idea. I should think the men took the chance to settle a few old grudges.
I can stand the sight of men killed in battle. But this...
Don't go any further then. This lot's only one company. I'll have them burned.
I hadn't expected so many.
Hadn't you?
But in principle, I was right to let them do it themselves. It made them feel their responsibility.
Where? Tiberius will indeed be glad to know the mutiny is over.
I was right, wasn't I?
The mutiny is over.
Do you disapprove?
Germanicus, I told you at the beginning you could do two things. You did neither of them. Only one man has done well out of this affair. Tiberius.
Knights don't think I'm a fool. They chose me to be head of their deputation to the consuls.
Yes, Claudius, I know.
To ask them for permission to carry Augustus's body back into Rome.
What other member of Augustus's family would they have dared to approach?
I made a speech, asked in half an hour, and the consuls complimented me.
It is their business to be polite.
We got the privilege. I mean, the knights did. At least they carried the body on the last lap into the city.
Yes, I arranged that. It was proper for them to have some part in the proceeding.
Uncle, give me a job.
Because I'm your uncle.
If you like, I don't care about reasons. Well, I mean, look at my brother Germanicus. He's only 4 years older than I am, and he's already been a consul. Now he's commanding an army. I have never been allowed to do anything.
Germanicus was favored by the emperor. I am not emperor. I cannot give jobs.
Oh. But that's just a constitutional fiction, isn't it? I mean, keeping up the pretense that you're unwilling until the Senate forces the title onto you, whether you want it or not.
I am in fact unwilling.
You're a very clever man, Uncle. I'm not sure that I like you, but I do admire you enormously.
If I read this horoscope right, I'm about to make a great mistake.
Yes, Caesar.
Which will lead to a misfortune.
A great misfortune.
Again, if I read right, Germanicus also will make a mistake.
More than one.
Which will lead to...
Which will be followed by a misfortune.
Ah, I take your point. The sequence is not always a consequence.
But his misfortune may be even greater than yours.
You mean he might even become unpopular? I beg your pardon. My jokes are so rare, no one recognizes them.
Your jokes are difficult, Caesar.
Yes. A mistake.
I'm afraid so.
You're a scientist. Don't use words like afraid. What am I?
The Emperor.
But predestined, I will do what I will do.
Yes.
But the Emperor. So at least my mistakes are my own.